the strangest parts about being a YouTuber is the amount of comments that you get. I cannot read all of the comments that I get on all of my videos because we have so many videos, but every once in a while, we kind of go back in the vault and pick some of the funniest and strangest ones to look at, and that's what we're going to do today. Let's read some crazy comments. Okay, so all of these are from the recent video, 7 motorcycle gear trends that are pure hype. Video got lots of views. This first commenter said, well, I guess because this guy doesn't own most or any of these products and hates any kind of technology and innovation, we should all just follow his lead, right? Is that how this works? Yeah, if you're referring to Ruroc being innovative, I really hate to burst your bubble, but they're not that innovative. So speaking of that, the next commenter said, I have a Ruroc helmet. I've had it for over a year. It's my go-to and my favorite helmet. It is more comfortable than my showy RF 1200. I think before you keep running your mouth, because I do like your show, I appreciate that, wear the helmet for a while. There are many content creators that wear the Ruroc helmets. Broaden your horizons, bro. Again, with the Ruroc stuff, I really hate to break it to you, but the vast majority of content creators wearing Rurocs do so because they are paid to do so. It is unfortunate, but it is true. This next commenter said, electric airbags are dangerous to the average rider and not user serviceable. This is not good advice. If you wish to spend double for no reason, then fine. But you can adjust the tether, so that's a non-issue. So instead of forgetting the tether, what happened when you forget to charge your effing airbag? Stupid take and a very rare Yammy L. Why are you so aggressive? Don't curse at me. Don't be angry at me about my opinion on airbags. It's just my opinion. I'm just a sentient dog on the internet. Relax. I think when it comes to the tethered bag systems, I just think that we've moved on past that. They tend to work a little bit better if you're super old school, but I think that the new generation with the algorithmically determined airbag systems are superior. This commenter said, always planning on crashing means you're gonna crash. Try planning on riding safely, following the speed limits, not lane splitting while speeding. I think I can agree with that. Don't pass on a double yellow. Don't use highways as a racetrack. When you group ride, do so in one lane. Don't block / take up all the lanes. Keep both wheels on the group. That front brake you've been taught to rely on does not work in the air. This is news to me that the front brake, when it's not contacting the ground, does not work. Ride like you have a fully functioning brain. Use your eye to look for hazards. A hazard can be a long list of things. Yes, cars can be a hazard, deer country. Being stupid on a motorcycle is why you need all this gear. That includes riding like everybody's in your way. Interesting. So I was agreeing with everything you were saying there, my friend. But then at the end, where you said that being dumb is why you need gear, things happen, man. And I think it makes a lot of sense to wear gear in the event of an accident, because as good as you think you are, we all have bad days. We all have times we ride and we make mistakes and go down, and I'd much rather be wearing gear when I go down than not. This commenter simply said, I've never heard of Rurak, ever. Rurak sounds like, it reminds me of Turok. Was that like the game where you shot dinosaurs in the arcade? Ruroc reminds me of that. Weird tangent, weird little like, you know, forgotten memory you've arrived for me, but I do appreciate it. Okay, next up, it was the Ode to a Dying Inline 4-Cylinder Engine motorcycle video, also very popular. I had a lot of fun making that one. Producer Logan did a great job on the research on that one. First commenter said, you need a bigger microphone. I can see a little of your face, JK, but that thing is huge. Looks like one of them there Neumann ribbon mics. Fancy. Sing for me. Sing the theme to Gilligan's Island in your next video in its entirety, and I will order each one of every shirt you sell in extra small size. And then they replied and said, oh shit, I just checked the website. You don't even sell extra small. It seems you're more business savvy than I imagined. The deal is off. This is generally one of the funnier comments I've gotten in a while. I actually really appreciate these where like you guys are trash talking, but you're doing it in a funny way. I really respect humorous trash talk. If you're going to trash talk me, make a good joke. Don't be mean-spirited. That's not funny. But yeah, maybe my mic is too big for this guy, but I like the kind of bizarre tangent with the Gilligan's Island theme. Excellent comment. This guy just simply said, this guy is more dramatic than my missus on her time of the month. Hey, misogyny, we love to see it. Next comment said, your clickbait titles are starting to make the videos feel overly dramatic and uninteresting. I'm becoming numb to the Michael Bay style of titles. I wish we could put explosion graphics on all the titles and just like make them even more bombastic. Hey, at least I don't put emojis in my titles. That's one thing we will never do. And I've seen many people start doing that. And to me, that just says like you posted this from your phone and you did not care at all. As a side note, it bothers me to no end that MotoGP they put so many emojis in their stuff and it just drives me insane. Next comment, there's nothing smoother or more fun to ride on the street than an inline 4 with 200 plus horsepower. There's plenty of more fun and smooth experiences than that, trust me. Next comment says, the climate cult ruined another aspect of life. The tyrannical emissions laws have made the inline 4 and V4 nearly impossible to produce. Another government 3-letter agency which takes freedoms and replaces with mandates. True fascism. Yes, the government trying to control emissions so we can breathe is fascism. You got that perfectly on the nose. We should all look to you for our historical lessons. That is incredibly intelligent. Speaking of intelligent, we have an emoji-riddled comment that says, wow, man, I have an 02 GSXR 750 I got off of Craigslist. Not Craigslist, not Greg's List, just Craigslist. The power or getaway power. Yeah, that screaming motor is awesome. Man, seems very intelligent. This comment says, LOL, how is this guy such a liar now? Quote, I personally never owned an inline 4 in my personal motorcycle stable. Dude started the whole channel on an R6. I literally have never owned an R6. I didn't start the channel on R6. I started it with an R3. It's a parallel twin engine. I love that the things are just, you know, we're creating stories about Yami Noob here. Of course we are. I knew this video would get some great comments. The suspicious Chinese law video. Boy, this is gonna be great. First commenter said, California Governor Gavin put Nazi rule in for California Air Resource Board. The Carb is destroying motorcycle culture in California. Banned a lot of motorcycles and banned almost all imports on bikes and off-road motors. I assume this guy is right-leaning. I don't know why right-leaning people think that anything that is helping the environment is fascist or Nazi. It's just insane. This comment says, nothing more cringe than descendants of colonizers talking about China, a country on the other side of the world, a culture that is not theirs, and a country they have never visited. I don't understand what being a descendant of a colonizer has anything to do with me discussing Chinese business practices or their economy. I didn't say anything about Chinese culture. I didn't say anything about the country in that respect. I just said that they're destroying motorcycles that are older than 13 years and they have some shady business practices and they don't respect intellectual property law, which are all facts. These are all just facts. The next comment says, it's just a tax thing. Based on a hoax, carbon isn't bad. In fact, it's healthy for trees, and trees clean that of air and use them for their growth. In exchange, give us oxygen. This literally sounds like a caveman is trying to explain photosynthesis to me and is getting it all wrong. It says, trees clean of air, give back to human good. We breathe, feel nice. It might sound crazy to people normally listening to mainstream garbage, but they do have a long-term goal. Who has the long-term goal? The trees? Because the subject matter you spoke about earlier was the trees, so I guess the trees have a long-term goal. Full control of all food sources, so I guess, so they is the government. WEF is always up to no good. If they care about environment, they would all agree to bombing and stop rockets, but they want more wars, but when eat meat or drive, it's a problem. Oh my God, dude. Go back to school. The public wherever you were educated has failed you. Let's read this sentence back one more time. It's like a caveman wrote this, man. Maybe he's a time traveler. But they want more wars, but when eat meat or drive, it's a problem. Wow, dude. If you have ideas you're trying to share, you have to at least put the effort into communicating them effectively. Why did you post this? You had the chance to not post this. We have another one that's like a haiku. Motorbike make China city look bad. China rich. Rich people drive car. Big car. Poor drive motorbike. No poor in China. All rich. Okay, maybe this is a Chinese person that English isn't their first language and they wrote it, but I love the way it's written like a haiku. It's, yeah, there are no helping verbs or anything in there. It's just real straightforward. I can see the thought process that in poorer countries, which China's, it's very unequal. It's a huge country. Anyways, I don't want to get into that. But in poorer countries, more people do ride two-wheeled vehicles because it is cheaper to do so. And in countries like in America, it's a hobby and it's a toy. So I could see that. I don't think that you can say that there's no poor people in China and they're all rich. That's absolutely not true. There's over 1 billion people in China. They couldn't all be rich. But anyways, this is a Kawasaki Ninja 500 SE, and it could be yours if you become a member over on yammynoob.co. I give away motorcycles all the time. I've given away over 53 bikes at this point, valued at well over $500,000. We've done top-of-the-line bikes, beginner bikes, crazy scramblers, all kinds of things in between, and this new Ninja 500 SE is the new bike we have to give away. Become a member over at yammynoob.co and rack up your chances to win this motorcycle. It could end up in your driveway. The next video it came from was the top 7 overrated motorcycles you should avoid. This commenter said, sometimes I feel like just doing exactly the opposite of what Yammy recommends brings us the most joy and excitement and keeps us all safe and healthy. You're right, man. All I advocate for is to ride Turbo Hayabusas and go 300 miles an hour. So don't do what I do. Commenter said, Kawasaki Z900 isn't ugly. Ugly bike is Mahindra Mojo 300. Just check it out, guys. I don't even know what a Mahindra Mojo, this commenter must be from India. Z900 looks aggressive and brutal. I haven't heard till anyone saying Z900 is an ugly bike. After the introduction of M1000RR, it clearly overshadowed S1000RR. I don't know why you're talking about the BMW, you're talking about the Z900. Z900 is objectively ugly bike. Everyone can agree with that. All good. This other comment, Ural isn't overrated. It sells as a fun oddity and gives fun and oddity in spades. I own a 1964 to 2024 Dnepr, and road trip in one of these is fun and butt-friendly for one's co-pilot because it's a people magnet. I did say that in the video, I think, that Ural does attract a lot of attention. It's a goofy thing to own. I do think that they have some value in that perspective, but they're really overpriced for what they are. Z900 offers you simple and raw experience, yet you called it boring. S1000RR offers you speed and thrill, yet you called it boring. GS and Multistrada offers you refinement and advanced tech, yet you called it boring. Go out and just walk or run. Look, man, I'm sorry you like boring bikes, you know? I don't know why you would choose to go motorcycling and then pick the bikes that are the most boring, you know? Versys 650s, GSs, like, if you pick a fun bike, you'll have a better time, and then you won't leave mean comments like this. This comment says, you talk smackholio about the hogs, but I gotta tell you, I travel all over this country weekly, and the hogs outnumber all other bikes on the road, easily 100 to 1. Easily. Maybe Harley riders ride more? I don't know. I got no dog in the fight, but clearly you do, and since the constant hog trigger keeps tripping you out, I started taking notice. Like literally, I would have never noticed. The glides ride, my friend. This is an interesting case of observer bias, right? Where because you think you see something a lot, you give numbers of like 100 to 1. The statistics do bear out in your favor, where 1 in 3 motorcycles sold in the United States is a Harley Davidson. You're more likely to see one than any other particular brand, but that still means that 66% of bikes on the roads are not Harley Davidsons. If you're traveling through the country, through the Midwest, through kind of the midsection of the country, not in populated urban areas, you're probably going to see Harley Davidsons more. Interstate travel is usually done on Harley Davidsons and that sort of thing. And I don't think that lends credence to the idea that they are more popular than any other bike because of what you saw on the road. So just a quick Yammy Noob psychology lesson for you there. This comment says, Yammy Noob, you forgot one's the Geico bike. Yammy be like, I'm not even touching that cured thing that never ran right from beginning nor can be fixed, and it's ongoing crap drama to say's least. Well, once again, proving that grammar is a difficult thing. All right, boys, here we go. We had the BMW R1300 GS video. Lots of great comments on this. This guy says, if we're gonna critique the purpose of bikes, let's talk about sport bikes. Ooh, already coming off strong. The vast majority of sport bike riders don't have the skills to ride them anywhere near the bike's capabilities, and most of them never take them for track days. They dress up like MotoGP riders and ride like idiots on public roads. They're very uncomfortable for long trips, and honestly, not even practical for commuting either. I guess we should all ride old-ass Honda CB750s with a laughing emoji. I don't disagree with you, honestly. It is an unfortunate and, kind of uncomfortable truth that a lot of sport bike riders don't take them on tracks, don't do what they're supposed to do with the bikes, and kind of ride them like dummies. I don't disagree with you, but I don't know why that's related to the BMW R1300 GS. Did I maybe strike a chord with you that I said that the BMW wasn't really good for anything? But I guess, yeah. Comment, does all that hate keep you warm at night? Take an off-road riding course on that bike and get out of your narrow-minded view on motorcycles and their purpose. Or go back to your therapist, whichever you prefer. Bold of you to assume that a YouTuber has a therapist, my friend. We are all mentally ill on this platform, and nobody's getting help on here. Absolutely not. Yeah, the hate does keep me warm. The tears of BMW riders keeps me nice and sated. I am never thirsty, for I have plenty of BMW tears to drink. This guy said, of course you're biased against the GS. You've been a squid your whole life, and I'm only going to say one thing about the Boxer engine, Cadence. Again, I'm not really that much of a squid my whole life. It's just this persona I put on the YouTube channel, but I'm glad I hooked you in and you engaged in the video. This commenter said, come on, man, we love you, but you're just being a hater. If you reviewed another bike and you're being this critical and biased, there will always be something to complain about. Reply, I still remember his review of the Multistrada and how much he slammed that bike too. Dude just has a hate for ADVs for whatever reason. It's not that I hate ADVs. I actually own an ADV. I got a Touareg 660. I just don't love the top of the line category because they're so heavy, they're so big, and they stop being good at anything, really. They just kind of become too big, too silly to really do anything with. And that's my complaint with the GS and the Multistrada. But I think because people spend a lot of money on these bikes, they're like, I gotta defend this thing. Okay, top 7 reasons why EV motorcycles will fail. We got a big comment here. Tammy. That's my female persona. You should really do more research before spouting off on your so-called facts on electric motorcycles. Producer Logan, we got to do more research, man. We're not doing good enough here. I've had my Zero for a year and a half, and all it has cost me is the bike payment and tires. Not many gassers can say that. Ooh, I didn't know that was like a slur to use against ICE engine owners. Gassers, that's interesting. I can go about as far as the average gasser before charging back up. Yes, it takes longer to charge, but I use it to commute over 60 miles to work every day. That costs me 42 cents for the day, and it would cost me $9 with my gas bike, and then the cost of oil and other maintenance that I just don't have with my SRS. Where do you live that it would cost you $9 in gas for 60 miles to work? I'm doing the math on that, and that doesn't really add up. That would imply that your motorcycle is getting 20 miles to the gallon. If you're paying $3 a gallon, that doesn't add up. You did bad math there. I don't think you have a leg to stand on when it comes to knowing what you're talking about when it comes to electric bikes. Get one and use it daily for at least 6 months and then see and have a reasonable opinion and not just uninformed gab. Literally no one could pay me enough money in this world to have me ride an electric motorcycle for 6 months. I would rather, I can't say it on YouTube, but you guys probably know what I mean. I would rather KMS, let's put it that way. My bike pays for itself by not paying for gas. Gather more information and talk to people who know the product. I've gathered all the information I need, my friend. This person says, whenever someone makes a video claiming that something won't happen in the next 15 years, that should be a clear indicator they have no idea what they're talking about. No one can accurately predict the future 15 years ahead. However, YouTube's algorithm prioritizes quantity over quality, so these kinds of videos are prevalent. I mean, that is a fair claim to make, that no one can predict what's going to happen in the next 15 years. We can make educated guesses though, right? I'm not saying that I alone know what's going to happen in 15 years from now. But what I'm saying is, to my perspective, it seems unlikely that X, Y, and Z would happen. You look at things like everyone says, by 2030, there's going to be no more gas vehicles. And it's like, I mean, guys, that's less than 6 years away. That's just not feasible. There's not enough infrastructure for electric vehicles for everyone to have one. They're extremely expensive compared to gas vehicles. People can keep buying used gas vehicles and keep using them. So there's a lot to say there, but I'm not saying that I know everything that's going to happen in 15 years, but yeah. This guy says, EV is the future. You can cry and scream, but it will be. 100 plus years ago, people cried and screamed that cars would never make it. What's a gas station? My horse only needs hay. EV is the next stage of transportation. Undeniable. Unavoidable. I'm not sure that I would agree that it's undeniable, unavoidable, that it's the future. I would personally much rather see trains and more public transit and more modularity of options for people to get around in cities. I still think that gas-powered vehicles will be prevalent for long distance travel and probably reduced in usage in urban areas and suburban areas. That's my take on it. I don't disagree with you that it's an interesting piece of technology, but I think it's gonna take more time, really. So folks, those are some of the ridiculous comments that I've gotten. Again, I can't read everything because I get so many different comments, but leave a comment down below on this video, and in the first 30 minutes or so, usually a video going live, I like to check in and see what's going on. So thanks so much for checking out today's video. I do appreciate it. We'll catch you in the next one. See you later.
Keep watching Yummy Nerd.